Not some time ago, it's believed when people wanted to play their cricket, they would go into sands and play on cement and play with tennis balls. But cut to 2021 and the landscape of Oman cricket completely changed when they created history by not just being the associate nation to play in the T20 World Cup but also host it. It all happened because there was a visionary, a change maker who dared to dream and defied all odds. I'm at the Oman Cricket Academy situated at the Al Merat, and trust me, in this picturesque venue, we can only think about talking cricket, and no better man who can join us who's actually been that passionate visionary to put things into practice as well. The chairman, the director of Oman Cricket, it's my honor and privilege to be speaking with Mr. Pankaj Khimji. So firstly, thank you for your time and
thank
congratulations on this wonderful venue and the sporadic rise of Oman cricket over a period of time.
Yeah, thank the Lord.
Just want to go a little back into the day where things were different and the way things have changed, but I want to take you to an iconic moment in your life as well as an administrator, as a passionate cricket fan. The date is October 17, 2021. Oman cricket team walks out with Papua New Guinea for that match, and an avalanche of emotions went through your mind and your heart. Could you state that feeling to me, please?
Well, I think it was, what can we say? It was that watershed down moment in Oman cricket's rise to glory, I would say, in the last 5 to 6 years. 2015, I would say, was possibly that cricketing moment where we had qualified for the World Cup and also gained an ODI status as an ODI country. And I think from there on, then going on to play in Dharamshala in a qualifying round of the World Cup in 2016 and beating Ireland on a last ball thriller, that itself put us on another pedestal. And I think brought us not only recognition, but from a cricketing point of view, but also from a point of view that an associate nation 10 years ago ranked outside the top 40 can, if they put their heads together and if administration can be the support system to a cricketing and bring in the cricketing gurus to help build the team, then 5 to 7 years is a good enough time for any associate country to get into the World Cup scene.
Right. Of course, the seeds were sown much earlier by late Shri Mr. Kanaksi Gokuldas Khimji as well. He has had a major influence in your life as well, and you've carried that legacy forward. What is the kind of impact he's had? He's called, of course, the father of Oman cricket as well.
Look, I think the passion that he had for the game of cricket is, I've never seen a person with such amount of
much more than his son?
I would imagine so, because he did not have, today I look at this, I have these means to can express myself. He did not have the means to express himself. For him, cricket was all about following the game, not as much as driving the game. He didn't have the means nor the kind of apparatus to say, I want to take Oman to the World Cup. But 10 years ago, when we got qualified as an ICC accredited associate nation, I think he realized that the time has come. And at that point in time, we started saying, what is it that is required? And his sheer passion is unadulterated kind of dedication to building cricket as a recognized sport in Oman is unquestionable. I don't think anyone came close to the kind of that drive that he had. And just seeing that drive, you felt, guys, man, if there's anything we need to do is to make sure that his dreams come true more than ours. And I think we all got into that swing of things, and the board were all very clear that we need to kind of build cricket. Of course, when we got the associate nation status 10 years ago, there was one question or 8 years ago, there was that one question that we asked, what do? Do we start developing grassroots, or we develop and get recognized at the top level and then work backwards? And I think we took the right choice and we said, let's develop our team, let's get recognized at the top level within the ICC framework. And if we get recognized over there, there is a certain amount of windfall that can come in that can help development of the grassroots. So I think those things we were very clear on, and we didn't dither on going away from that particular focus. I think one other thing that he and I both agreed on is that we are administrators.
Wonderful.
We cannot be running cricket. Okay, we are just there to kind of give them the so-called fundamental support that is required to build the cricket and let the cricket take its own course. And I think in that we found probably one of the finest men in Dilip Mendes 10 years ago. And to say, Dilip, you run the cricket, you build the team, leave the rest to us. Okay, and we don't interfere in your affairs. You have any doubts, you can come and take an opinion from us, but we will not direct you.
Right.
So I think that said, I think it's probably been that golden rule that is yet to be breached, and I don't think it will be in my time. It won't be. If
This reminds me of an anecdote I would like to share with you. I was having a chat with Mr. Saurav Ganguly, and I asked him what is the role of the coach and the players. And he's like, Mikkhail, the coach has a particular line beyond which he cannot go, and that's the boundary rope.
Yeah,
Once
that's
the players enter the ground, the coach has no
That's
role
it.
to play. And I
That's
totally
it.
understand where you're coming
Exactly. I mean, we set up this. Dilip says, Pankaj, I need that 10 wickets, and I need a practice facility, and I need areas, and I need a trainer, and I need a physio. So we started building that year by. We didn't get them all in one go. We couldn't afford to. But slowly we found the means to and the resources to help him build that support system. And then we left it to him saying that, Dilip, now you've got the support system, now you can't go back. And he delivered. And we were, at every time we breached one particular barrier, we got so excited, we said, come on, we need to give him that extra further help. We need a fast bowling coach, we need a spin bowling coach, we need a trainer, we need a physio full time. And now I see that amongst the associate nations, we probably have the best supporting staff going forward. So that really helps.
No, we totally understand that you love challenges and you love to conquer them. No better than you. Maybe I should not be saying this, but you're practically pulled off a coup by hosting the 2021 World Cup. How did that happen? If I have to ask the $1 million question.
I think there's two particular institutions that came together. One was the fact that we had a very good relationship with the ICC. Our record in terms of administration, in terms of our fiscal discipline, in terms of the growth of the way we'd grown the game and the way we maintained our support systems, has been impeccable. And ICC had recognized that, saying that yes, and if at all there is an opportunity, maybe we can trust Oman to do it. That was one. Number two, the relationship that we built with BCCI and given them that confidence to host them in Oman and telling them that, look, we will deliver. And in 91 days, we delivered a World Cup worthy apparatus like the stadium here in Al Amarat. That, I think, has now been what stories are going to be made of. Because what we achieved in those 91 days with the help of the board and being single-minded focused, dividing it, and actually taking on as a management exercise of how to delegate, empower, supervise, mentor, and monitor. And that's exactly what it was for those 91 days. There was not a single day that I did not come to the ground. There was not a single day that 3 other board members did not come and do their role in minding the corporate finance and procurement function and contracts function. And we'd had a Chinese wall between me and my other board members where I could not dictate on what was being bought. I only set up the ground rules on what requires to be done. How it is done and who's supposed to do it, it was a different committee. And we actually maintained that throughout the 91 days. There wasn't a single area where we actually said, no, I overrule, I'm the boss, I'm doing it. No, no, no. Once we decided that we needed this, the 3-man board member team went out and executed it, found the contractors, found the means, found the things to kind of go and do it. I could not come in over there and say, no, but I want so and so. No, it wasn't the case. My job was to go and identify the areas that need doing and what rectification needed to be done. And I think this went on beautifully. And we had 9 different groups. Each had a group leader. Each one was delegated, empowered, and backed up. And my role was only to make sure that each one was, I was ticking the boxes as days went past. And we'd done a draft which went backwards. 10 days before the games, we should be 99.9% complete.
Right.
And then how many days do we require for this, for that, for that? And it went on. I think the biggest challenge were the lights,
right,
which we had erected in 55 days. Then the main corporate production floor, the commentators' rooms and the production rooms, that went up in just about 85 days. And then came the you don't realize, but the amount of wiring that is there inside the ground, underneath the soil, foot underneath the Wi-Fi lines, the Cat 8, Cat 7 cables going around, connectivity, etc., getting broadcast permits, getting permits for drones, getting civil aviation permissions for things.
My God.
So the biggest support system was from the government itself. When we talked to the government and said, look, we have an opportunity to host a World Cup event,
Right.
and the top 4 brass of the BCCI are coming to inspect. Should we pitch for it or no? Do you think that Oman is ready under the COVID, this huge big COVID cloud that has been engulfing the whole world? And they said, Pankaj, what do you think? I said, listen, if you give me the go-ahead, I can achieve it.
Wow.
I may be short in terms of resources, not knowing what...
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Khimji. At that point, you said you could achieve it. You're pretty clear that you can pull it off, or there was a little bit of a doubt?
No, we were clear that we were very focused and we knew exactly what was required.
It's a huge thing to pull off, to be very honest.
Yes, it was a mammoth exercise. It was more like we had a war room that was set up, and we met there every day from 11 o'clock till how much ever longer it took. It probably completely undid my health regime that I was so proud of in the COVID days, that I had lost 6 kilos. I was back to my youthful best in terms of my energy. But here goes the exercising routine, here goes the thing, but the exercise going up and down the grounds, that was fantastic. But no, frankly, the government's backing was the biggest backing that I got. And not just one department. The government itself appointed a committee headed by the Deputy Minister of Sports,
Wow,
with the Chief of Police, the Chief of Information and Television and Broadcasting, the Chief of Tourism, the Chief of Municipal Affairs, the Chief of one more person. And they would meet every fortnight, again, doing nothing but checks and balances on whether we are achieving. Is there any hiccups from the government side? Whether, we were issuing something close to 700, 800 visas. And doing them in less than 5 days each. From the date of application to the date of visa in hand, 5 days. And then there were teams that were coming in before that. There was the English team who came in and, chose Oman as their watering hole when they abandoned a tour into a neighboring country somewhere. And, all this was happening in between that. So, fantastic. I mean, 8, 9 charter flights were being things. So, from an economic point of view, the country also learned. And suddenly people in far out places of Cape Town are suddenly meeting people, and where do you come from? And you come from Oman. Ah, yes, I know Oman. They were there. We saw them we know Amarat cricket ground. Wow. Amarat cricket ground got more prominence than the country Oman when it came to cricket. So it was very, a lot of anecdotal.
I can add some relevance to this last line of yours, because somewhere I read that you found out that the broadcast coverage turn eyeballs close to 3.2 billion on these matches. And you said, if correct me if I'm wrong, you stated even if we get 1 billion of that, I guess we've done our job and we've arrived.
Exactly. I said, people were saying that your 6 games that you're hosting could collectively bring in approximately 200 million. I said, if I get 50 million people to watch Oman, and if I get 0.1% of those people to visit Oman in the next 5 years, for me, I've done it.
Yes.
So you need to reflect that. So our purpose of doing it was not just about ticking the so-called World Cup cricket hosting box,
Right.
but about putting Oman in a broadscape in the eyes of the people and in the minds of the people. And I think that's exactly what we achieved. And that's where the government came in so handy. They were driven as well, like we were, behind us. And can't thank them enough.
Mr. Khimji, I'm sure Oman cricket has seen a lot of highs, some iconic moments. Would it be unfair to ask you to pick that one moment, like a watershed moment in Oman cricket that you feel where Oman cricket's landscape has actually changed? You may have got the status, the affiliation,
No, I think the qualification to the first World Cup, playing in I think it was Ireland, Dublin, where we beat Namibia, chased their run score and got that ODI accreditation and the first instance to the World Cup in 2016. I think that, to me, is that iconic moment for Oman cricket. Seeing the first ball being bowled on this stadium, that cannot be beaten.
You did mention, I'm sorry again, I'm living a dream.
I was living a dream, and I think till today, I don't think we've quite recovered from the what shall I say, hangover of that World Cup fever. But we've then done the Legends tournament. We're now hosting this 8-nation World Cup qualifying rounds. Oman's certainly on the cricket map of the
Global map, yeah, of course.
We now look forward to saying, will we complete all the 3 boxes by saying, can we host a test match? Well, I think we're close. If Afghanistan were to choose Oman as one of its home venues against any country that they have to play in the next 2 to 3 years, I mean, we'd be happy to host them here. We've had talks, and I think it's just a matter of time.
Right. How much has Oman cricket changed after the 2021 World Cup? How much do you think the attention, the seriousness with which the cricketing world is now looking at Oman cricket, and moreover the kind of push and the motivation the boys themselves are getting after coming into the spotlight once again? Feel that was a big moment, the 2021 World Cup, just to put Oman on the global map?
Sometimes I feel that I just hope that we haven't been distracted by the hosting, so that my team, Oman, doesn't get less attention than what it deserves in order to kind of go to Australia and then go to India in 23 as well. I think that one focus moment at this present moment is to make sure that we qualify for Australia 22, but even bigger would be to play that first ODI World Cup in India. Now, currently in the WCL 2, which there are 7 teams, 3 of them are going to qualify. By the autumn of this year, we will know which 3 are they. At this moment in time, at just about halfway stage, we seem to be leading the pack of the 7. I hope we maintain our momentum. We seem to have faltered a little bit recently in the past few games that we played, but we're not worried because I think we've got a very good bench strength and we've got a very good team. Sometimes you have your ups and downs, and I think that happens everywhere.
Yes, I was planning to come to the team as well. They've shown some great character over the years. They won some great matches, and there's a lot of cricket happening over here in Oman at the moment, where they're also playing and trying to get in the T20 World Cup, which the qualify the schedule for on the 18th. How would you like to describe the current scenario of the Oman cricket team and the players as well?
We're very fortunate that this country has given these amateurs a platform to express themselves at the world stage. They've all come out of their home countries more looking for an opportunity to earn a living and playing cricket at the same time. most of them are still are finding it difficult to make sure that they have an earning income on the side and to support families. And but for them to come up over here, looking at Oman having adopted them, Oman having given them that opportunity, and they are totally indebted to the country. I'm extremely grateful that we've had our share of this very talented bunch who stayed with us. I think 3-4 of them have played even that iconic 2016 World Cup games. Now they're playing the qualifying rounds for the ODI World Cup. I just hope that those people who have brought us up to here will be there in 2023 and to play the ODI. But cricket is such a game that when you start going down and hill, and opportunities will not come. That when you are at your best, opportunities only come later on down the road. So there will be players who would have laid the foundation, but there will be others who will reap the harvest.
The rule of life.
Rule of life. It's a sad thing, but
you got to live with it.
But yes, we're very pleased. I am extremely pleased at the nature at which my only grievance, or I should say my only shortcoming in terms of Oman cricket development is concerned, is the fact that our grassroots development program that should have started in 2020 has not kicked off because of COVID. But we are very, very certain that that is one thing that we want to do. I mean, we want that in the next 10 years' time, at least half my team should be of young Omani boys.
I did read that as well somewhere.
Yeah.
You did mention 3 to 4 at least in the next 10 years should be Omani nationals, so that it will bring in a lot of Omani flavor as well.
Correct.
And also the sporting culture in and around Oman will slowly shift. Not just, of course, football is the preferred sport over here, but they'll start understanding and also getting acquainted.
I want this community. There were 25,000 homes around within the 5-7 kilometer radius area of this place. And I want them to come and use the facilities that we built. It's for them. It's not for me. It's for them to come and let their children, the youth, come and learn this most noble sport that I know of cricket.
On a lighter note, Mr. Khimji, did you also play a lot of cricket during your days?
So I was very fortunate that I was sent to school in Mumbai in my young days, and I played my share of corridor cricket and gully cricket and street cricket and school cricket. And I was in the same era when Ravi and I played against each other in the Guy Shield tournament in the Mumbai schools inter-school tournament. So we've been friends. Or we've been acquaintances since, and we've been friends now
on Twitter,
even more.
On Twitter, Ravi Shastri did.
I know. So yeah, I also had my following and of the Indian team icons. Sunil Gavaskar was the first and will always be my greatest icon. So yeah, I played my cricket. Once in a year we also come and play a Boxing Day game. Of the Chairman's 11 against a combination of a British, South African, and Australian 11, which is great fun, which is a great spectacle. This time we were lucky; we had ITW to come and broadcast it as well on this thing. So, yeah, I enjoy playing the game. We used to play it on our farm and with the tennis ball, like we used to play it on the streets. I probably will go back to playing a little bit of tennis ball cricket because the white ball cricket and the red ball cricket is not exactly that like to play in this time in this age.
Gully cricket.
Exactly, I'll go back to my roots. Exactly, full circle.
Yeah, but we did see the Legends League cricket happening over here, and I must add that the kind of tweets that were put out by players and posts on Facebook, Twitter, they loved the hospitality. They talked about the amenities. They spoke about the facility. They talked about the infrastructure. They were all praised. Not just one cricketer, almost all of them.
We're very pleased. I think we enjoyed having them over here as much as they enjoyed playing the game. And I think what was even fantastic is that there was no game in which 300 runs were not scored. And out of the 7 games that were played, every games had 300 plus runs scored. In fact, there were 2 games in which there were 400 runs plus scored.
Wow.
So fantastic. I mean, for those people, when they came in on a lighter note. When they left, they were all so spirited that they wanted to come back, fitter, more serious, and they want to come back in the autumn. They want to come back and play the next level, next league, the next stage of this tournament. And we'd be more than happy to welcome them again if they do come in. And I think that's the kind of cricket that Oman will be hosting going forward. I want. We were hosting Mumbai, the Ranji Trophy team, last year in August and September, and we would love to have them back again. They would love to come back, as I understand. And I think that's, if we can host those kind of teams rather than create another league, add another millionth league into the amount of leagues that are being played in this T20 leagues being played all over. I think that's the kind of cricket that people want to see, is really good, solid cricket. And I'm still old school when it comes to that, and I'm not so much fond of the circus of cricket that you see these days.
Right, Mr. Khimji, a few more questions before we close the session. How's the transition for you been, from someone who would play cricket at some point in time to an administrator, and now to a point where you become a decision maker? On a personal front, many congratulations. You've also been appointed as the Vice President of the Asian Cricket Council.
Will be going forward. Will be in the next AGM, which is in the next few weeks.
So congratulations in advance. So how are you as a person enjoying these kind of responsibilities and the new roles that you've been taking up?
See, if I can bring together a good team and get people to start aligning in the same way that I align, as far as my philosophy of cricket is concerned, is to allow cricketers to play and administer to administer, and we need to be in the background and not in the foreground. If I can get that to happen, I would have played my part in sending that message across. I'm of that person. I fully feel that there's so much more cricket that needs to be done within the Asian context. Now I speak as an administrator from the ACC point of view. That's so much that needs to be done to develop both an associate level countries of the Asian region that need to develop and come up. At the same time, there is so much that the big four can give to the next. So I think there is this connect which has been missing for the past few years that needs to be brought back. The dream of Mr. Dalmia to set up the Asian Cricket Council, which was realized, and I did well to start with, I think we need to take it up to the next level. How can we help kind of do administrator training, do officials training, whether it's referees, whether it's umpires, whether it's coaches, whether it's groundsmen. If we can pass that on, I think we need to have some sort of a target. Can we have 50 grounds in 10 more years, or 50 green playing fields in the non-test playing countries in the next 10 years? I mean, those are the kind of targets that we need to set, and then we need to go around that. Meeting from one meeting to another every 6 months is not going to achieve much.
It has to be result-oriented.
So it has to be a KPI-driven thing. And I think if I can sell that across, and if I can kind of send that across, it'll be great fun.
Oh, clearly, yes. Wonderful. We have enjoyed having this chat with you. There's so much of learning and education that comes through your experiences. I'm sure a lot of people want a message from you as well when it comes to associate countries or Oman cricket. It would be wonderful if you could look into the camera and put across a nice message to people who are actually tuning into this broadcast at some point, and we'll have a message from none other than a man who's actually taken Oman cricket to new heights.
Wow. No, I firmly believe, and I think what we have experienced over the last 10 years and what we've seen is that there's no dearth of cricketers and no dearth of good cricketers in the Asian subcontinent and in the neighboring countries. And people from the Asian continent will travel provided you give them the facilities. What is lacking is in the neighboring countries is if you were to give them the grounds, the basic facilities to play at least 8 months of the year, cricket will flourish. But if you expect them to be playing on brown fields and in distant lands, it's not going to happen. So I think what cricketers, it's as administrators, it is our job it is our first priority is to provide the facilities and provide the grounds. If you don't do that, it's not going to work. It's not about stadium building, or it's not about building large edifices. It's about greens.
Very true. It's about giving them a playing field.
That's it.
Showcase
I
their
promise you, cricketers will traverse.
Right. You're talking like a cricketer now. We could see that. One
Thank
last
you.
question, Mr. Khimji. You did mention a lot about you staying out of certain affairs and minding your own business and allowing others to take the decisions. A word on your team, your administration, your office staff, to put things over the years. You did speak about Mr. Dilip Mendis and what an impact he's had. But over the years, the entire Oman Cricket Academy.
See, one man cannot be putting this whole apparatus, or this whole success cannot be driven by one man. I certainly cannot believe it, and it will never be done by anyone. We have Madhu Jaswani, who's, according to me, the heart and soul of Oman cricket.
Wow.
And the guy drives the cricketers, he drives the office staff, he lives with them, he sleeps with them, he's married to them. And the role that he has played in holding this bunch of people together, whether it's the cricketing aspect or the administrative aspect, is unfathomable. So fantastic. Number two, having a board which is aligned on the same wavelength and not trying to pull each other's down is another great blessing. I know it happens. Unfortunately, it is going to happen also. I cannot say that it will not happen in the future. But having a board which is aligned is half the battle won. And if you can get this too, then you're one person. And the other thing is that if there's one person who's doing a bloody good job, then back him up and don't get in his way. And that's the kind of message.
In the real world, Mr. Khimji.
But unfortunately, that's the truth. Leadership comes from an individual which is backed up by a team of great people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the great people are the ones who are backing him up, not the leader himself. You must realize that.
So, sometimes it's not about the action, but the intention.
Absolutely.
That's so likely,
It's absolutely. It's you need a team, a great team, to help the leader lead. You don't have that team, the leader means nothing. So I try and practice what I preach in my office, or I try and bring here the kind of discipline and the dedication and the passion that I have. And I often get asked this question: are you more passionate about your work or your cricket? And they dare ask me about whether I'm passionate about my family, because that is a very big googly. It's a loaded question. It's a loaded question. And I tell you that. But no, if you can bring anything in, and if you've got the basic skills and the basic right intentions and right attitude, and if you've got the passion for it, you can't go wrong.
True.
Provided you have a team backing you up.
Yes. As they say, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. But for that, you need to have individuals around you who will respond to your call as well and stand up each time as a unit. This discussion with Mr. Khimji has been one full of passion, persistence and perseverance, and each time you talk to him, it's infectious and it rubs on you. Mr. Khimji, firstly, congratulations on putting something so beautiful that is drawing everybody to the Oman Cricket Academy. I must admit that what I thought was an interview ended up being one of the most candid chats I've ever had, and more so an inspirational one as well.
Thank you, Mikkhail.
Truly enjoyed
All the best. Thank you.
very much.
And we look forward to having you here for that 8-nation tournament.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.